What's up guys, my name is Andy. As I continue to move forward on the Crown Vic swap on my 68 F100, the next thing I want to address is the steering. I didn't want to use the hydraulic setup that came with the Crown Vic swap. I wanted to do electric steering. And what I'm going to do is taking the power steering rack out of a 2015 Mustang, I'm going to put it in my truck, and we're going to use this real slick mount from Range Industries to install my power steering rack on the Crown Vic crossmember. Let's take a look at the parts that come in the kit. So in addition to this mount, what you're going to get in the kit, let's take a look here. Oh, we got some stickers. Those are slick. I always like getting that kind of stuff. Oh, look, a koozie. That's awesome. So we're going to get these ties for the boots that go on the tie rods. So set a new set of ties there because we're going to need to cut the ones off the boots that are on the steering rack now, and we'll need some new ones. So that's good. These are the inner tie rods that are included in the kit. That's great. Now, I do want to point out if you didn't want to buy. If you wanted to use the tie rods on the power steering rack that's on there now, you actually have to cut them shorter and then use the outer tie rods from the Crown Vic to thread on there. But this way, they just give you the right length that you need to do, and then you can just take the outer tie rods from the Crown Vic and then put them on there, and so you're good to go. Here's the mounting hardware. So what we've got is the large bolts go for right here where it mounts the power steering rack to the mount, and then the shorter bolts are what's going to go through this mount into the crossmember for the Crown Vic setup. These are the stops, and then there's a little thing in here that describes, depending on the wheel width that you have, you use a different color for the setup on your vehicle. So it's going to be dependent on what you have for your wheels on the front of your truck. Now, the only thing that's not included in the kit, but you can still buy it from Range Industries, is this setup here. This is going to allow me to plug into the module that's on the power steering rack and not have to splice in some wires. These are the connectors that you would need to use. So I've got some wire for this. They even include the metal connectors so that we can crimp them on there, and it's all the waterproof stuff. So you're gonna need 6-gauge wire. They don't include the wire in the kit, but you can get the connector set up. So that's something that we're gonna install a little bit later in the video. But other than that, let's get the rack up here and start taking it apart. And before we modify that, I did want to point out, you can cut these off. They recommended in the instructions to cut these tabs off, and we'll go over that a little bit later. And then also the bolts. Now I have the bolts facing down, and you need to actually have them facing up, or you got to cut the end off so that the boot of the steering rack doesn't interfere with that part. I'm just going to turn my bolts over. So let's go ahead and get this up and get it taken apart. Like I was saying before, you can use the inner tie rod that's on here, but you got to take this off, cut it short, make sure you don't damage the threads, and then thread on the new tie rod, which I just went ahead and bought a new one for my setup here, because you can't use this one. Well, you can, but the design of this allows it to make room for the wheel and stuff as it comes in, as you turn the wheels and stuff. So we want to use this. I want the correct length, so we're just going to use the inner tie rods that they include in the kit. So let's take this boot off, and then we're going to unthread this inner tie rod from the steering rack. We'll do that on both sides. Now, for some reason, these nuts are like tightened by the hand of God or something. And so we're just going to heat this up, see if we can break these loose. Now this green piece right here, it clicks on to this inner tie rod, so we're just going to get underneath it and just pry it off. And you're probably going to damage it getting it off of there, and that's okay because you have a new one that's in the set. So there we go. Okay, now this guy is on here pretty tight, so I'm gonna put this in the vise so that I can take this off, because this is supposed to be tightened to 89 foot-pounds, so it's probably gonna be on there with 89 foot-pounds. So we're gonna get a wrench on here and again put this in the vise so we can break this free. Now, because I don't have the right size wrench for this, I'm gonna use this Neanderthal pipe wrench. I know you guys aren't gonna like that, but I just don't have the right tool for this. So we're going to use this guy and see if we can get it done. There we go. Whew. That was scary, but it broke free. So that's good. All right. that one's off there. And before we put this guy in there, we need to get this piece out. Don't want to forget that old guy. And depending on what size wheel that you're going to be putting on there determines what piece we're going to put on. So I'm probably going to do this one. I think I'm going to try to put as wide a wheels as I can on there. So we're going to put this guy, make sure that you have the cup facing out. I'll just slide that on there. And then when you thread these in, there's no right and left on these, so you just go ahead and grab one and thread it in there. Now again, because I don't have the right tool, and this is supposed to be 89 foot-pounds of torque on this, I don't know how I would do that with a wrench. So we're just going to use this guy and get a good ugga-dugga on here and call it a day. There, okay. That's on. And then the boot piece, we want to get this guy back up here, and it just clips in place. And you're supposed to be able to do this with your hands. And of course I'm not getting it done. There we go. There. Now that's in place, that's locked on there. Cool. And the boot goes on. And there's a ring right here that this just kind of seats into, just clips in place. This guy goes on there, that's fully seated. And then include new ones of these straps for here. But what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to wait until I get this in the car, make sure everything's right. Then I'm going to put this on just in case I have to come back and take this apart for whatever reason. I only get one of these for each side, so I don't want to waste it. So we're good there. Now the next step is to thread. Included in the bag of hardware that you do get a nut for this new inner tie rod shaft. The old one won't fit, it's just too big. So we'll go ahead and thread this guy all the way to the bottom. Just get him out of the way. And again, just like that old nut, this old tie rod won't work. So you either need to use the tie rod that was on the Crown Vic if you got the power steering set up with your Crown Vic cross member, or you're going to get a new one. And these things are so cheap, and this guy's all worn out. It's just not worth trying to salvage it. So I just went ahead and got a new one, and they are left and right pieces, so just a heads up on that. The steering column part here that goes up to the steering wheel, this is the left side, so I got the right one. And so we'll just thread him on here. Now I don't know what the length needs to be for my setup, so I can fix that when I get in the truck. And again, oh, shoot. I got to take this back off because we forgot the clamp that goes on the boot. You guys probably saw that before I got there, but let me do that real fast. All right, so now that we got that all done, let's do the same thing on the other side, and then this part will be done. And then before you know it, you've got the second side done. This goes much faster than the first side, especially once you know what you're doing and you don't skip a step and put everything in the right order. So cool, like I said, I'm gonna keep these straps on here for the end just in case I mess something up. But now let's go take a look at what we need to do on the truck. So the first thing we want to do is take these studs out of here. Now I already took them out actually when I was installing this whole crossmember thing. So it just takes an 8mm socket on the end of that and they just back right out. They're not very hard to take out at all. So once that's out of the way, like they say in their instructions, you can leave these two tabs on there, but they do kind of get in the way, and it's easier if they're just gone and you don't need them for anything. So I'm just going to take a Sawzall and just cut these off and clean up that surface there. And then the mount that comes with the Range Industries mount actually fits inside this little radius here, so you don't have to worry about getting this little edge off. You know, it's just this big tab you got to get out of here. So let's get that cut off, and then we can put that mount on here. Okay, so anybody that knows anything about aluminum, first you want big teeth, not fine teeth, because you're gonna gum up the teeth, kind of like what I've got going on here. They're starting to get clogged up. But also, you don't want to cut fast. You're just gonna smear it all and gum it up. And I forgot that on the first round. That's why I had to change blades, because I clogged up the first one. But anyways, We got this ear cut off, and I'm just gonna take a file and just smooth out those edges and then do the other one. All right, I got those sharp edges taken care of. Now what's really slick about this Rain Industry mount is that not only is it cut to fit in this radius here, but it's also cut to fit around kind of where the end of this ear connected up here, so you don't have to shave those off. It's pretty slick how this fits inside there. So just like that. Then we're gonna put those screws in. Now, those 2 screws that come with it, we need to put some blue Loctite on here and torque it down to 79 foot-pounds. So let's get this mounted first. Now before we can mount these in there, I wanted to show you, I was talking about before how these bolts for the Crown Vic subframe mount are in the way, they're touching the boot. Now we can probably get this in place. Yeah, this is not ideal. This is about where it would sit. The problem is that bolt and this one over here, they're both pinching the boot, and that's just not what we want. We don't want anything binding up there, so I'm going to go ahead and turn these 2 bolts around, and yeah, before we can put this guy in place. All right, now we got those bolts turned over. This just falls right into place. This is fantastic. So the next step is to put the bolts in from the bottom, and just fit right inside there like that. And then we put the nuts on top, and we need to torque these down to 126 foot-pounds on these bolts. All right, that fits in there pretty good. And like I was saying before, you can see how the head of that bolt now doesn't even touch the boot. I can get my finger in between there. So cool, we are set up there. And I did want to point out, this sway bar is actually not mounted yet. I'm not done with this part. And so actually the sway bar needs to move that way because we want these to be vertical, not at an angle like they are. So because of that, this has to move that direction. And it's possible this bar is going to want to be right where these tabs are. So I might have to cut that off later, and I can deal with that later. But just a heads up for you guys on the F100 Crown Vic swaps that the sway bar might have to finagle with that. So cool. So the next thing would be to do is to plug these guys in and tighten those up. But again, I'm not ready to finish all the stuff with the wheel hubs and everything. What I do want to do is get the plug ready and get this set up to get all that done there. All right, guys, future Andy here. This is the next day. I didn't realize until I was editing the video that all they had was audio for this whole thing of getting this set up. And I didn't know that when I was filming everything yesterday. So, and I can't redo these because these are already in here. But to summarize, what I did is you crimp off, you take the sheathing off the end of the 6-gauge wire for the power plug here. And it comes with 3 connectors. I only need 2 to give you an extra one just in case you mess up. These are pretty beefy, pretty heavy duty, and you're gonna need some pretty good crimpers. In fact, to do this, I used actually all 3 of these. These 2 were from my American Auto Wire set when I rewired my Mustang. These came in real handy, and then I needed to use these as well because these are pretty big jaws on here. Anyways, once you get that crimped on, you put the little boot over the sheath first, then crimp that on, and then you push it in here till you hear a click. And you're going to get both of them in, and you want to set this plug up this way so the red part is down, and then you'll have the black towards you and the red on the outside if you want to set it up that way. And then once you put them in there and you hear the click, you want to push this white piece down. That's going to be sitting almost flush with the end of this thing when you get started. Once you push these in, you're going to have to push this down until it clicks down inside, and it sits down about 3/16 of an inch or so, and it's hard to tell on the camera, but this white thing is flush with these black tabs. When this is sticking out before you push it down, it's kind of those black tabs are set inside there. I don't know how else to describe it, but that's what you do. And this is actually kind of hard to push down, so just be mindful of that. Once you get those in place, that one's good to go. And you do this kind of the same thing with this. This is just the trigger wire that turns on the module of the power steering. This powers everything. This just turns it on. We don't have controls for the module. You don't have to worry about that. It just powers it up. So that's good. And what Range Industries does with this kit is it provides these two little white pieces that stick in here, and then you're going to put on, one of these little guys. Same thing, you crimp them on it. It's much smaller, easier to do. Your regular crimpers can probably do that one. And you're going to put, if you put the red clip up, it's going to be the farthest one from you if you want to look at it that way. Put those three in there till you hear the clicks, and the same thing with this, you're going to push it down. This one actually sticks out a little bit past the edge of this black plug when you start, and then when you're done, it needs to be sitting inside like it is here. So anyways, this is good to go. Sorry guys, I had a whole long setup about how to crimp this and stick this in there, but I don't have that now, so. All right, back to the video. All right guys, so that is the electric power steering installed with this Crown Vic swap using that Range Industries mount. And then I've got that wiring harness which you saw me just putting together. I still have to wire up the rest of the truck, so I'll finish that out when I get done, but at least the connectors are done and we're good to go. So I still have a couple more things I need to do to wrap up the front of this truck before I put the engine back in, but this is a good place to stop, and I'm real happy how it turned out. That mount for this power steering is perfect. It gets it right where I need it to be, and I think this is going to be a great upgrade for my setup, so I'm excited about that. Cool. All right guys, that takes care of that. We'll see you in the next one.